Hello friends, BorasLegend here, and today it's time for another defending tutorial. One of the main keys in the defense is to master the player switching, to know simply when and where to switch players and which areas to cover. First thing you need to know is how player switching work. The main command to switch players with is the right analog stick. You simply flick the right analog stick towards the player you want to select. This allows a more strategic defending. The other way to switch player is to click L1, which will switch to the player closest to the ball. This is simply used when you need to put pressure on the ball holder and switch quickly. In order to do this, a good defender needs to be able to master and combine both types of player switching. The golden rules of player switching. Number 1, cover the dangerous pass into the middle or the deep pass. This is always rule number one. And then number 2, put pressure on the ball holder. And this order is vital because the first thing you always have to make sure is that there are no threats. No threats into the middle, no threats with the deep passes. And when you make sure and cover these areas, you can start to put pressure on the ball holder. The middle is almost always the most vulnerable area, just like the human stomach. You have to protect it. So instead of chasing from behind like a maniac and allowing your opponent to get to the dangerous area, you will make sure to select a player with the right analog stick and cut off the dangerous area. And here you can see some examples how I all the time cover the dangerous pass into the middle. And by holding down L2, you'll also get better control and reach of the defender you control. A good tip is to also hold down R1, which is the secondary man press, to put pressure on the ball holder while you are covering the dangerous area with the player that you control. So when the area is covered and the threat is gone, you can start to manually put pressure on the ball holder and conquer the ball back. And here L1 will be very useful to switch to the closest player fast and try to intercept the ball. So let's take a look at some more in-game examples. So here you can simply see how I select with the right analog stick this player here and just simply cut off the dangerous passes into the middle. Here he has 2 threats here, but I'm covering both threats, and you will see here how I work here with my player and just holding down L2 also to help with the control, and then when I get the chance, bam, taking the ball back. And here another example, you can see here the dangerous pass into the middle, and I have to cover this pass, so I have to switch here to Pogba, which I'm doing here, holding down L2 and taking the ball back. And then another example here, you see here that Sanchez already has this player covered. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to help out Sanchez and switching to Benzema with the right analog stick and covering up the dangerous area in the middle. You can see here he can do absolutely nothing. And here is another example. You see 9 out of 10 the opponent will try to cut in and find the pass into the middle. So what we're going to do here is select Bale, which we already did, and just simply sweeping off this dangerous area and taking the ball back. And here is a great example. You can see here how he gets the ball back and he has 3 threats in the middle. So what we have to do here is with the right analog stick, switch over to the player here in the middle and just simply sit here, hold down L2 and cover off the dangerous space. You can see here we get the ball back. And here is another example. You can see here how just some player switching here, back to Benzema, and Benzema covers the dangerous pass into the middle here. So what we're going to do is we're starting to put more pressure because we have all his options covered except for this option here to the right. So we're switching over to Pogba to cut off his last option and easily taking the ball back. And now we're getting into golden rule number 2, which is to always put pressure on the ball holder. You can see here that Benzema is never going to make it and Ben Arfa can get a dangerous shot here, but instead we're gonna click down L1 to switch to the closest player and put pressure on the ball holder. You can see here how we're doing this and able to get the ball back. And then once again you can see here a great example. Once again, before he even turns around, we're gonna be like a leech on his back, just clicking down L1 to switch to the closest player. You can see here L1, and before he even turns around, bam, and we have the ball back. And here is one of my favorite examples. You can see here how he soon will be 3 against 1. You can see here 3 threats against the poor Boateng, and the only thing we can do here is to click down L1 to quickly select the player closest to the ball and trying to intercept the ball back before he can pass or make a finish. You can see here Boateng gets the ball back. And here I'm going to show you some very common mistakes that people like to chase too much from behind. Instead of here we're switching to Benzema and covering here the dangerous area in the middle. But in this example we will not do this, and you will see how he will get this chance here in a very dangerous situation. And then once again, just people likes to chase from behind, and he will have 3 threats here. And instead of chasing, we have to switch here to the man in the middle, which is Boateng, to be able to cut off the dangerous areas for the opponent. But here we're not doing this, and we're lucky that he is not scoring the goal. And here once again, chasing from behind, a common mistake, because the first thing we have to make sure is that we cover the dangerous passes. And here we have to switch to Boateng and cover up this dangerous area, but we are not doing this here, and he will score this goal. And then we come to emergency switching, and this is used when your defense is out of position and you have to cover the dangerous deep pass manually. And when it comes to emergency switching, you always have to use the right analog stick in order to select the most appropriate player in your team in order to stop the running attacker. And now I'll show you some in-game examples of emergency switching. So we have the first example here, and you can see how he gets the ball, and he makes a dangerous run here with his attacker, a threatening run. And the only thing we can do here in order to stop this attack is to select our defender here with the right analog stick and easily intercept the ball. And then we have my favorite example here. You can see he will get a 1 versus 1 situation if we don't manually pick here the right back, which is Walker, because he is more appropriate, he is faster, and he is the only one who can chase down Coutinho here. And then once again, the right analog stick here, switching over to Smalling. He is closer to the ball and he is more appropriate to stop this 1 versus 1 opportunity. And you can see here, he does it perfectly. So guys, remember, practice makes perfect, but a good player switching is one of the main keys in order to have a good defense. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did so, make sure to drop a like and subscribe if you didn't already. Thank you guys so much for watching, and as always, until next time.